Hi folks, it's Tony with HonestReviews.info. Today with a quick product review on the JE95XL Breville Juice Fountain. I usually have the product with me as I do an introduction, but this was a little bit too complicated. I thought what we're going to do is I'm going to bring you downstairs with me to our kitchen, and then we make a juice together, a green juice, and I show you, what you need to know about the product, why we stick to that particular product, because in the meantime we actually bought another juicer but then kind of tossed it again and went back to the juice fountain because we simply like the way it works and the way it produces the juices. Oh, that rhymes actually, not on purpose. So why don't we go downstairs and I show you everything in detail. Alright folks, here we are back in the kitchen, and as promised we're going to do a quick review on the Breville Juice Fountain. The model number for this particular product is JE95XL. They're all different kind of juice fountain models out there, but that's the one we have. We have been using this product for several years. I cannot remember for how many years, but as soon as my wife is back, she will let us know, and then I can give you an update on that. So before we get started, a couple of things that I wanted to show you, just as far as the product itself is concerned. Let me just zoom out a tiny little bit more. There are, I would say, a couple of main components. So here, this is where the juice is being collected as you press it. Here is like a security handle, and I will explain in a second what that's good for. The top comes off here. That part obviously comes off too because you need access to the feeder. So it's very easy to take the whole thing apart for cleaning purposes. You basically just lift off that part. I'll show you in a bit how easy or not easy it is to clean it. And this is where the pulp goes. And we use plastic bags. Usually the same bags we buy our groceries in, and we just put that back together. You see, it's very easy. It only takes a couple of seconds. And as far as this handle is concerned, the juicer will not turn on. It's like a security feature unless you lock it back on. And now you can turn it on and off. It has two speeds, low and high. I typically use the high speed only. So my wife just returned. Quick question: for how long have we been using this juicer? Do you remember?
Probably about 3 years.
3 years, okay. And I also remember we in the meantime bought a different juicer, but then switched back to this particular model because we just like the consistency of the juice much better when it's being processed through this particular model. Okay, so one thing that I personally don't like about this juicer is the fact that the feeder is just not big enough to accommodate regular sized apples. On the other hand, it's not that big a deal. All it takes is, just cutting them up a little bit and then you're good to go. So other than that, we really process all the produce as is. The only thing that we peeled today is the cucumber because it's not an organic cucumber, and therefore we just peeled it. But other than that, everything goes straight through the juicer. So we have a little bit of kale, we have the cucumber, we have 2 Granny Smith apples, a lemon, and some celery, and not to be forgotten, I don't know where it is, but there must be ginger somewhere. Yeah, right here. Obviously you can make juice, any juice the way you like it, but that's usually our main recipe, so to speak. So I'm just going to use the high gear here, or the high speed. our juice. What I usually do is I'm just use a spoon and mix it up a little bit, and then you're good to go. Oh, what's actually in here, and I actually wonder what that is. I think it's just to separate the pulp or the foam from the juice. You see that here? It comes out easily for cleaning purposes. But now we should have 2 nice glasses of organic green juice. So what I actually wanted to show you is the nice and smooth consistency of the juice. And I'm not sure if you see that here on camera, but if you are an experienced juice drinker, for the lack of the better term, you know sometimes juices can be really watery or pulpy. And neither is the case with this particular juice, and that's really due to the product we're using, the Breville Juice Fountain. And again, as I just mentioned before, we in the meantime purchased another juicer, but we did not like the consistency of the juice it produced. So what we like to do is use a little bit of cayenne pepper on top of it. So I showed you before, it's really not a big deal to take off the individual components for cleaning purposes. I'm going to move everything over to the sink, and then I'll show you how we clean the juice fountain. So as far as cleaning is concerned, obviously it takes time. I mean, I know a lot of people complain that it's too much of an effort cleaning the juicer after you use it, but it is what it is. It usually takes only a couple of minutes. Now this part right here, I don't even know what you call it, but that's the strainer, okay? So that's probably the most complicated part to clean, but if you get yourself a brush like this, it's really not that big a deal.
It comes with that brush.
Oh, it comes with that brush? Okay, I didn't know that, as you just heard my wife chiming in. It actually comes with that brush, which makes it much easier. And this particular part here is really the one that takes up the most time, because obviously it's a little bit tricky to get everything, all these little pieces of pulp, but they come off actually pretty well when you use this particular brush. I suppose you can really use any kind of brush, right? So as far as the strainer is concerned, that's it. And now the other parts in comparison to this one are really a piece of cake. It's obviously the juice container itself. As I showed you before, this part comes off. And it is dishwasher safe as far as I know, but I think for the most part, we just rinse it under water and only occasionally put it in the dishwasher. Alright folks, that's it. That was the review on the JE95XL Breville Juice Fountain. I hope you found it helpful. My wife reminded me on one more point I should make before I let you go. The feeder of that particular model is actually oversized. So most other juicers don't even have a feeder that size. It's much smaller. Yet, as you saw before and as you heard me making that comment, it does not accommodate a regular size apple. It's not a big deal. I mean, you just cut the apple up. The whole process of making the juice, meaning setting up the juicer, you know, getting all the produce and the fruits prepared, and then having it cleaned and put away, I would say it's about 7 to 10 minutes. So it's really not that bad, and you're doing something for your health. So again, I don't know if this is the best juicer in the world. I always find it funny when people make videos and say this or that model is the best juicer in the world. All I can tell you is we've been using it for several years. We're extremely satisfied with it. It's easy to use, relatively easy to clean, and we just like the consistency of the juice that it makes. If you have any questions, as usual, you can contact me via the contact form. More than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. And then here on that side, you should see a link with information, or that takes you to a website with information that describes all the technical features of the product, as well as other product reviews and so forth, and the price and buying information, and whatever else you need. I hope I see you next time. Hope you found it helpful. Till then, bye-bye.